Well, the first thing about internet mentoring is it serves a very useful purpose for people, particularly in international organisations, because in international organisations you have the time difficulties of people in many different countries, and with an email system you're able to have a quick response time to emails, and to then in many cases where you have people who are upset or frustrated with issues, in order to explain their issues, and they have to write them down. And just that one process of taking those issues and writing them down can already have a positive effect on their performance and how they feel in terms of their well-being as well. The effectiveness of mentoring, it's not like coaching, because you don't see and you don't have such an instinct about the individual. But you are able to use mentoring, e-mentoring, in a way that will provide ideas, solutions to people. And what we try to do is to provide 3 solutions. The concept of that is that if you provide one solution, it's very easy to say, well, yes, no. If you provide 2 solutions, then people will go, well, I like this one, or I don't like the other one. As soon as you ask more questions, it scrambles the mind, and you often find that the individual will come up with a solution of their own, or a modification of one of those solutions. And if they have their own solution, then they have more motivation, they have more will to succeed in that. For the last point of that question was about mentoring and the issue of coaching. For myself, I love one-to-one coaching, and I do master classes around the world, and it's a real thrill to see transformation in people and be in the presence of that miracle of change that people make. And it's a great privilege to be in the presence of people who are making major life changes in that way, and it's a real thrill to do that. And you can't get that bigger thrill, in my experience, from e-mentoring. It's that one-to-one thing that makes all the difference. There are already many coaching models. A coaching model is particularly useful for people who are very logical and like logical processing. So it doesn't appeal to all coaches, but for those coaches who want a system in order to know where they are with their coaching, having a model for coaching is helpful. And this particular model I felt was necessary to create because it includes a very high emphasis on emotion. And our emotions, whether we express them or not, are where our motivations come from. So to ignore our emotions, and the emotion of the coachee, is to ignore the potential for change, and hence the creation of this stepper model. I'm fortunate in that I've been exposed to many instruments. I use quite a lot of NLP, I sometimes use some transactional analysis. I'm a great fan of symbolic modelling, And again, there's a lot of information in the performance coaching book about many models. But I'm also a very instinctive coach. And as you develop in your coaching practice, so you become more instinctive about people. And even though people are so different, sometimes there are patterns that arise that give you some clues. And I'm never complacent enough to assume anything. So we always test the assumption or the clue by asking a question of the coachee in order to just find out whether that is right or whether it's wrong. I'm not sure I feel like Pygmalion. I used the word earlier of privilege. I think the main thing I feel in coaching is a great sense of awe to be working with people who are in control of their own development. And I feel like the servant leader or the person who is assisting, facilitating their change, but not leading it. And that thinking is important in the coach, because the coach, I don't think, should hold on to a sense of leading and directing the individual. You really want to feel that you are assisting a process which is unique to the individual you are coaching. And when that happens, when you have that coachee fully in their process and fully owning their process, then you know they can fly. They will really move much further than they could if you try and take control, if you try to guide them. Well, I certainly hope so. I'm not an expert on Poland. What I do know is I have met many people who have a very high level of education in Poland, from both here in Krakow and from Poznan and elsewhere. And it's clear that the level of education here is very, very, very good, probably better than we have in England. And when you have people who are developing and putting their concentration into self-development, then for sure the skills of developing the ability to relate to other people through teamwork or through developing the people around us through coaching, these skills become another level, if you like, of accessibility to creating motivation in people and creating change, assisting change in people. I think the simplest way of explaining that is to think about the growth of emotional intelligence. When we are aware of how we think, of how we process information, we have the opportunity to then manage that, to make changes in ourselves. And it's a human instinct to then say, well, are other people the same as me or are they different? And then we make judgments about other people, and some of those judgments will be right and some of them will be wrong. And we learn from feedback from other people when we get things wrong. Very often they tell us, you know, we've got it wrong. You know, I'm not like that. I'm not motivated like this. I'm not motivated like that. And then we learn very fast from feedback. And in that way, we learn to motivate and lead people through those experiences. And me, myself, my team in this book is providing information for understanding about ourselves, but also to apply that in the world outside, to the people around us, to have some insights, not answers, but insights, which establishes the possibility of asking, of questioning and checking to see whether those people really do have those motivations, those beliefs, those systems, those mental, psychological systems which carry them forward, or whether we've got it wrong. And in that way we learn. So I think emotional intelligence as a model offers us a great potential for explaining, if you like, how the process of learning takes place, both within ourselves, but how that is applied externally. And although this book wasn't written with that model in mind, the model I think describes it I hope very well. I think in this world of ours that you have every possible mix of motivation and type on the planet, and the minute you try and put someone into a box, you made a mistake. If you think to put someone in a box, the best thing you can do is ask them a question. Are they in that box or not? When you make judgments, you make mistakes. When you make judgments, you are creating the possibility for control, manipulation and power. It's much better to just ask the question and check your instincts and rely on the integrity and honesty of the individual rather than make judgments. There are many motivation techniques, and certainly in coaching, the carrot and the stick are absolutely critically important to use both of those. You want people to understand fully their reasons for not doing something and to really understand fully their reasons for doing something. So that really harnesses motivation at the basic level. Beyond that, there are many, many techniques in both these books for understanding and developing people that go beyond the simple matter of sticks and carrots. The easy ride. I love biking. I've been biking for 30 years or more, and I now am an advanced rider and help other people to reach advanced standard of motorcycling. So I'm very technically involved in the skills of motorcycling. And it is psychologically quite demanding, because if you follow your instincts, then you die on a motorcycle. And so from a psychological standpoint, it's really quite demanding.